Hey everybody, it's another episode of How Do I? And this one came up with some conversations that I've had when I am doing some leadership dialogue with leaders, and they want to know, how do I negotiate and handle difficult customers and even team members or people that we work with? So here's a quick lesson on how you do that. And before we get started, I just want you to click subscribe. Go ahead and put some comments in the comment section. If you have any, head over to Leadership Wisdom with Fitz and you'll find this playlist. If you want to re-listen to it, I know some of you are actually getting sent this via email. And also take a look. My sixth book is coming out. I'm excited. It is called Leadership Wisdom, Designing Intuitive Leadership. So you can check the playlists on that as well, as I'll be giving some snippets regarding that book that's coming out probably the end of this month or for sure next month. All right, so negotiating with the difficult clients and the team players. Exactly how do we do this? The very first thing I want you to think, more important than anything else, is you've got to find some common ground because you need to be able to build some trust and respect before you get any really good dialogue, going forward. So at the end of this, you want to say to yourself, did the conversation that I had with that individual or that team provide some common ground that we could move forward on? When we find some likeness, when we find some similarity, when we find some things that we can both agree upon, that is when you are able to go into a deeper dialogue at another level. So let's take a look at this. To establish rapport and trust, which is what I'm talking about, and gain that respect, one of the things that you might want to do is put your leadership hat on and say, can I and am I willing to understand their perspective? And that's huge. I'm a CEO coach for Vistage Worldwide, and we always say you've got to love the person that you're coaching, and that means listen, understand, and validate. And just the fact that I'm validating doesn't mean I always agree, but when I can listen and understand and validate someone's perspective, that's huge. The rapport goes up and the trust goes up because all of us, being human beings, we like to be understood. The next thing that we're going to talk about is setting the very clear expectations and then managing the emotions and the ego that you have. We all have that ego energy. So let's go a little bit deeper into this, understanding their perspective. One of the things I want you to make a note of is ask opened questions. And so if you have to get a transcript of this video, go ahead and do it. And an open-ended question is not one that gets answered yes or no. It's like, what matters to you most in this situation? Tell me more and describe what really happened. How is it that you're feeling about it? Not, did it go okay? No. Yes. Open-ended questions. That gives them the opportunity to talk, to have some dialogue, to give you some, let's say, insights to their perspective, because you can then begin to look at their tone and the expressions of their face. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to reflect on the feelings in the content. Okay. So that means reflect back to them. So let's say they say, okay, yeah, I can tell you about the situation. So and so walked into the room and it really made me feel very frustrated because I did all the work and she took all the credit. So what you would say is, I hear you're feeling frustrated about that timeline or about the fact that she took the credit. You reflect back what they're feeling. That means to them, you heard. And you not only heard with your biological ear, but you had some active listening going on. You were listening and you're comprehending it. And then the next thing that I want you to do under this understanding their perspective is I always want you to figure out what was their motive? What was driving their position of the frustration? What was their payoff for being triggered by it? It may be something that is subconscious. Maybe we call it, transference. So something happened a long, long time ago. It still kind of sits in our memory system, and we are actually pulling it up subconsciously and putting like a transparency in front of the situation and saying, that's the motive. They're triggering me. And it could be I just want to be heard, or it could be I want to be recognized for my work. What is driving their position? So when someone is triggered, there's something that's going on. It's either they're transferring an emotion from a past situation. It means that they're triggered and they want some change. They might want to be heard. They don't want to be hurt again. There's a payoff for every behavior that we have. So that's why you need to see if you can seek to understand their motive without saying, could you tell me the motive of why you're acting this way? That's a little condescending. So we don't want to do that. All right, now the next thing is I want you to set very clear expectations. Again, the whole goal is for you to find some common ground. So when you define roles clearly, you would say something like, help me understand your role in this. What do you perceive your role as being that you needed to do, did do, or maybe could do in the future? And when they reply, you listen, and then you say, well, here's also how I can, basically say, I agree with you on that. I think we have clearly the same role definition. Or you might say, we're a little bit different on there. Could we get to a point where we could clearly understand what the roles are? At the same time, you want to establish some boundaries. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can't do. And that's another open-ended question. What do you feel like you can do, and what boundaries do you feel you might have? They might come back and say, man, way too many boundaries. You've got, I feel like I'm chained up and I can't do anything. All of this is about learning and understanding their perspective to get the common ground. That's the very, very big step in any type of negotiations or trying to help people relate better. Then I want you to document the agreements. You don't have to document what you don't agree on. Those are probably going to be pretty obvious, but do document the agreements and go, I'm going to make a note of this, that we really do have an agreement on this. We are thinking alike. So you reinforce that. Now, the third part of this is I want you to manage your emotions and your ego. And we all have emotions. We're emotional beings. And our ego is that storyteller in our mind. Sometimes egos can be healthy, and sometimes they can be detrimental to a situation because they tell us stories based in fear or concern or something that's happening in our memory bank. So I want you to recognize if you're triggered at all. Often I will tell someone that I'm coaching, do you see them like in the red, like a red flashing light, or do you see them in a green, like, hey, go ahead and go? You've got to step back and be aware. So this is you in the situation, and this is your observation. You are the reporter. You're making a note. I feel this way. Now, can you take your feelings and set them over into a parking lot? Can you find that you're maybe telling some stories based on those feelings and set them over into the parking lot? That's one thing that you want to do. The other thing is I want you to do really well is ask what questions. What do I need to know? What do you know? What could be different? Versus why questions at this point. I want you to ask why, because why is a great question when you have a lot of respect, a lot of trust going on, and you're in a very collaborative mode. You might not be there yet with this person. You're just trying to find some common ground. So what questions are more like exploratory questions and curious questions and questions to kind of get the data around things? Another thing you can do is just pause. Yeah, 5 seconds. I just gave you a 5-second pause. A pause is a pretty powerful thing. It wakes the other person up to let them like, oh, this is what's going on. So they get back into the conversation. They also will realize that perhaps you're pausing because you're giving it some great thought. So pause is a very powerful response. Try to use pauses when you are responding. And the fourth thing regarding that emotion and the ego is you as a leader have got to learn to separate the person from the problem. Very few people wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be a jerk today. Instead, we all get on this bridge of human behavior and we begin to have situations and emotions and adventures, and we collide and we get triggered. It's not like we intend to do that. So I want you to realize that every really crabby, cranky person is probably a frustrated person, might be a hurt person. Anybody who's angry is a hurt person. All of us have these same emotions, so please extend grace and be a heart-based leader and work from your heart and separate the person from the problem. Okay, that's this quick lesson. We'll see you soon, and make sure you put a comment in and subscribe. Hey, thank you for watching. I hope this video was really helpful for you, and I want you to consider liking it and sharing it with others who might benefit from its insights. If you're interested in more leadership content, please be sure to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, which is called Leadership Wisdom with Fitz. Now, if you're ready to elevate your leadership within your organization, spark some meaningful conversations, perhaps with your team or emerging leaders, I've got a resource for you. Click the link below to access exclusive words to ponder. This is a discussion guide that I kind of put together with some carefully crafted questions to complement this video. It's going to, really help just bring your leaders together, align their thoughts, and begin to set some of this leadership concepts and wisdom that you want them to follow. I coach and mentor CEOs and leaders all over the country, and I know that they really appreciate these mini wisdom lessons that can spark the leader within. So continually engage in leadership learning. Keep coming back for more wisdom. Simply subscribe and you can follow my footsteps. And also, please go over to my free online community at www.theleadingheart.com, where heart-based intuitive leaders come together to advance their awareness using their inner wisdom. Also, check out my Heartbeat series books, which are online anywhere that you can buy a book. I'm really excited for you to unlock your leadership wisdom. See you soon.